to share an update about what you've been working on over the past week. Would love to hear from you. So go ahead and raise your hand there in the chat and we can get going. We can start with Sharik.
Uh, so as the project proposal date comes closer, I've been working on my project proposal and getting my the presentation ready for Wednesday. Uh, I will be presenting the Deem Validator client. We have made some decent progress on it. Uh, and this week I worked on I got some I got some feedback on my validator client exit command from last week, and I was looking into it, but I need to do some more work into it this week. As I was waiting for feedback on that, I started working on timing the attestations properly. So There's a wait before we can submit an attestation. We either wait for a valid block or we wait for one third of the slot to have been passed. And I was just implementing that in our validator client.
Awesome. Thanks, Sharik. Harsh, you're next.
Yep. So, first of all, two more folks joined me in the project, so I'm pretty happy about that. So I have a very strong mentoring team, and as a guy from Lighthouse joined, so suddenly I was actually very happy that I was able to complete the project proposal quite early, but new bugs have started to come up. So right now, when we took a look at the Lighthouse architecture, we found out a pretty problematic thing when we tried to implement the basic FCR algorithm in that. So Lighthouse currently runs a pop choice at around 11.5 seconds into a 12-second slot. So it's sort of like 23 out of 24. By 24, the way it goes through the slot. And the attestations from the slot, T-1 not exactly processed 11.5 seconds into the slot and not at the beginning, which we want in the case of FCR. So that's actually problematic because it is violating the 8-second synchrony assumption that we have in FCR. But Lighthouse took this decision for the slot boundary conditions that it had. So that's a pretty typical challenge that we have hit right now. And I'm trying to think about this and talk to folks from Lighthouse team to figure this stuff out. But yeah, apart from that, most of the proposal has been like reviewed by my mentors, and I have pretty positive feedback about it. So I am thinking that I'll be able to start writing some code this week. But let's see like how the architecture of Lighthouse evolves, because we'll have to change certain bits here and there. So yeah, overall that's the update from my side. It's really fun.
All right. Thank you, Harsh. Awanakin, you're next.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible enough? Great. So for the past week, I continued my work on implementation of the PostgreSDB backend for Lighthouse on the backend node. So I was able to extend like some support for it. The backend, the store config, sort of support this the Postgres variant. Integrated the CLI flags. All of these are just based off of the feedback that I got from my mentor, Ethan. So I was able to do all of that the past week. I was able to hook up, like, just make sure that it sort of work end to end in terms of the bare minimum. So
I think we lost you. Maybe I think it looks like you got booted. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and go with Vukasin. We'll get back.
Hello, guys. Last week, I had some small surgery and I was kept in hospital, so I did not participate a previous stand-up and office meeting. But now I'm home and I am happy I can meet you. Uh, but I will speak a little bit through my nose, so I hope you can understand me. But I need to update my two past week because last week I wasn't there. So in week 3, I experiment a lot. I played with Grandin repo because uh, I choose to implement Tokyo tracing for Grandin. Uh, so I run it on a Hulaski network, and I try a current logging system there and try to learn as much as I can from it. Because debugging and following logs, I think, is exact same thing as reading deeply documentation. So I'm glad I picked that project for me because that's one of the first my core project for Ethereum. Uh, I also made a small toy Rust async a project for experimenting with tracing and get more familiar with Rust in that field. After which I successfully tried to switch some part of current logging system with advanced tracing. And in week 4, I was implementing a lot of. I wasn't in week 4. I was in hospital, so I can't implementing a lot of things. But this week is maybe the most productive week for me in case of learning because I go on more carefully through Grandin repo and I learn more about advanced tracing layer and tools which I plan to add to my project proposal. Uh, I was also able to write my project proposal, so I finish it and I plan to present it for you in Wednesday. So that's all for me.
All right. Thank you, Lukasin. Nando, you're next.
Hey, hello. So, well, just a reminder, I'm working in the SSC query language and the Merkle proofs. And for the last week, I wanted to make a Jupyter notebook with Python to make like a kind of visualization tool for the Merkle proofs, but it ended up being like a Python notebook for the show the whole project to support the project proposal. So the idea is that this Jupyter notebook demonstrate some use cases for the SSC query language, and also it gives back the Merkle proofs. And while working on that, we have realized about some open questions in relation to the specification of the SSC. And well, we have already discussed that, June and me. And for this week, we want to finish the notebook with the whole project proposal and create the meta PR at the prison repo. That's
All right. Thanks, Nando. Odinson, you're next.
Hi, hello. So this week I've been deep diving into the store crate of Lighthouse, which mainly implements the caching technique, and also the database implementation. So I've been looking into the entire structure, and apart from that, they had their recent 7.1.0 release, as far as I remember, which one of the PRs of that had the implementation of hierarchical state diffs in the hot database. So since my work revolves around the in-memory caching, dynamic caching in the database itself, so I was looking into that PR in details, and also I've been writing an article explaining the architecture of the Lighthouse code base. And apart from that, I have been going through some documentation in the Rust book, such as the smart pointer and async Rust, so that I can like have my hands on in that. And in regarding work, I made a PR in the Millhouse report regarding something that I was working on Lighthouse, and another PR on Sigma Prime's SSD protocol repo. So yeah, that is my update for this week.
All right. Thank you. June, you're next.
Yeah, hello everyone. At the last week, Nando and I finished our draft proposal and requested review to our mentors and also Ethan. So we received very valuable feedback from them, and I focused on refining our proposal. So uh, simplifying our spec or some decision making to for the specifications. So I think we are on the track. So maybe the final proposal can be uploaded at this Wednesday or Thursday. So after that moment, we can start coding. So yeah, it's an execution phase for us in this week. And this is my update. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Vlad, you're up next.
Hi everybody, how are you guys? Yeah, so last week was EODS mainly for me. We had some issues with withdrawals, so I had to do a deep dive into EIP 4895 to understand how, yeah, withdrawals were thought, especially how they link the CL to EL. Yeah, that's sorted now. Also worked on my dev post about EODS, which is yeah coming together quite nice. Unfortunately, this was really bandwidth intensive, so I had to steal some time from looking into the Lodestar repository and tinkering with the client. I think I'm gonna catch up on that this week though, and yeah, my plan is to prepare yeah everything for what's coming.
All right. Thank you. Lee, you're up.
Yeah, actually, I'm working on the proposal. I'm trying to understand the project given by Gradient last week, and we had a briefly discussion on the Discord. It looks like they tried to use GPU to do the acceleration for raster KZG library, but it didn't work so well because the KZG we use, like MSM, is quite small. So now we are thinking about like two approaches. One is like FK20, the paper can be used. Another thing is like we are thinking also add the like a raster KZG book as a contribution of the proposal, which means like at least we will get some stable outcomes, and then we will use like FA20 as a like a challenge to see if we can really accelerate the raster KZG library with the GPU.
All right. Thanks, Lee. Vineet, you're up next.
Right, thanks. So yeah, last week I was working on initial draft of project proposal. It's already there. I haven't raised PR yet because I'm waiting for another person who is working on the same, Pureth. So I'm currently looking into Pureth. EIP is the log index EIP, that is 7745. And so currently going in through the EIP specifications, trying to understand the Bloom filter, how it works, looking into the Nimbus EL architecture, and trying to update the proposal. So I'll be raising PR for the proposal maybe in a day or two. And apart from that, I'll start working on the implementation part this week once I'm done with the proposal. So yeah, that's my update.
All right. Thank you. Preeti, you're up next.
Hi everyone. So last week, my primary goal was to finish the issue that had taken up. I had taken up, which involves preventing repeated CLI arguments from allowing the node to start. I've almost completed it. Just need to write a unit test before submitting a PR. Apart from this, I have also been researching on EIP7639, which is a project from Besu team, which I am thinking of working on. and that's it. And the coming week, I probably complete the PR which I am working on, and I'll research more on the EIP 7639. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Fahil, you're up next.
Hi. Yeah, I for my updates, I mostly worked on my proposal and yeah, still trying to finish it and will submit it this week. And I also started implementing fossil for Aragon. And yeah, I chatted with Mark from the Aragon team and how to move forward with it. So yeah, currently in discussions with him as to how like we are going to decide the inclusion lists and how what transactions to pick on what strategy to use over that. So yeah, currently just implementing it for the execution client, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So probably just will prioritize the proposal submission this week. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Jimmy Chu, you're up. You're muted, Jimmy.
Oh, hi. Actually,
There
this
you
is the
go.
first time I joined the stand-up meetings. I know about the fellowship, the protocol fellowship last week. So I'm not a fellow, like it's already past the deadline, but I would still want to participate in this program and want to make some contributions there. And I am interested in working on like the consensus clients integrating the CKVM. So currently there are two clients, Grandine and Reams. They are looking to integrate the CKVMs inside their clients and doing some benchmarking. So I've tried out both clients and also ran some like to basically compile it and build the CKVM and run it locally. And then I also talked to the both of the teams, and they said that we still like I still have to wait for some of the codes and some of the instruction to be ready before the benchmarking can be done. So right now I'm more on the preparation phase, getting myself familiar with the clients, the CKVMs, and we'll see how to proceed on the benchmarking.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy, and welcome. Shane, you're up.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This past week, I was gaining familiarity with Lighthouse's block proposal and block validation flow, just so I can understand the parts of their code base that I'll have to modify to implement delay execution, because it has a small consensus layer component to it, as mentioned. I wrote up the post for it. It's going to get feedback from their devs. Then add this to my project proposal so I can submit it this week. That's it from my end. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Shane. Great, Baba, you're up.
Hi everyone. Yeah. Last week I was working on the proposal for the libp. I read the document for the gossip sub protocol to learn about its development and how to implement it. At the same time, I read the quick C library document to learn how to call its API. I written some test codes to validate calling quick C API directly in Zeek. It works as expected. This week, I will continue to work on the specification part of my proposal. That's my side.
All right. Thank you. Irene, you're up.
Hi guys. So this week I've been working on finalizing my project proposal and also was exploring the code base related to the testing environment of Lodestar and how like create a draft like more of a mental draft of how to integrate the migration with Kurtosis. Like what part of the project of the code base will stay the same, what needs to be migrated, and how to integrate like Docker stuff. And yes, tomorrow we're gonna have I'm gonna join the core developer meeting and discuss with the mentors. That's all from my side. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Aman, you're up next.
Hello. So I'm working on Grandine ZKVM beacon chains notification. And for the last week, I've been looking around over Grandine's code base. And I also talked to Solius, and we talked about like implementing state transition function, which parts we should implement. And they're already working on SP1 and RISC-0 ZKVMs, but their repo is not public now, it's private, and it will be public soon. So we are talked, and he said that I, I should start working on OpenVM and Zisk and get a good idea about this ZKVM, and then when they public the repo on SP1 and RISC-0, then we can implement this two ZKVM, OpenVM and Zisk, to start working on them. Yeah, so that's from my side.
All right, thanks, Aman. Demetrius.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm working on benchmarking ZKVMs for the RIM client. So last week I was mainly blocked by a bug in the code of OpenVM. So for anyone who looked at I've informed everyone. So like the book that is currently available compiles the wrong version, and then you get an error in compiling. So I couldn't proceed. Brage was very helpful because he opened the PR to the company, and then they solved it somehow. So there is a solution to this. So apart from that, there is also an issue raised in the RIM client. So it seems that some people have already developed some kind of like a code which is quite modular, and you can benchmark various ZKVMs at the same time in a much simpler way than what we thought. So I think this is like I will try to look into this this week, and maybe update the project proposal to include this kind of functionality. Apart from that, so I am working on OpenVM, but also the other fellow who is working on it, he's working on Jolt. RISC-0 and SP1 have already been like more or less worked out by the team. And okay, we'll see how it goes, but the current status is this. So for Jimmy, who just joined, there is also a Telegram group devoted on this that could be helpful. And again, there was another comment saying that maybe we have to wait for beam chain specs. Actually, what we have to do now is focus on the implementation of the beacon chain on the state transition functions, which are already available. So, I mean, there is no need to wait. We can work with what we have, and maybe in the future think about the beam chain.
All right, thanks, Demetrius. Sato, you're up next.
Hi everyone. So during the past 1 week, I worked on the proposal and tried writing a small POC for the indexing as well as vector database storage of a particular code base, and a POC of the MCP server. Currently, I'm in the process of testing it. And I also went over the documentation of the AutoGen agent, which is of Microsoft, and I am still waiting for some feedback from Frederick. And yeah, this week I plan to finish the project proposal. So that's it.
Great, thank you. Anybody else would like to share an update today? Anybody we haven't heard from? We got most of the people. I see a few in here that maybe haven't shared an update. If you'd like to raise your hand. All right, otherwise we can go ahead and move on to some other housekeeping items. As we mentioned in the top of the call today, this is the beginning of week 5, and this will be the start of the time where we will be looking for some finalized project proposals being posted in the repo. I think we'll probably maybe also start a thread for it in Discord so that there's some visibility for these proposals for mentors and other people working on protocol generally. So please go ahead and submit your PRs for the repo as well as post them in a upcoming Discord thread. We'll be taking a look at them and giving you some feedback and comments, but these should more or less be finalized at this point. Anything to add about that, Mario? Cool, thanks, Mario. On the similar note, just a quick reminder that I highly encourage everyone who is participating in EPF, whether you're stipended or permissionless, to be posting a written weekly update at least 2 times per month or at least once every other week. For stipended fellows, it is again a requirement of receiving your stipend, but generally it is a great way to practice writing about the things that you've been working on, explaining the technical bits to a broader audience and allowing people to kind of keep up with what you're working on. So it's a pretty important part of this process. I know that everyone tends to be excited about just digging into the project and getting it done, but documenting your process is also one of the key things that makes Ethereum great, because all the little things that you're discovering when you're researching your stuff was written by somebody who was writing technical updates, whether or not for this program or for something else. So please continue to write those updates. It is an important part of this process. Yeah, I think that's all. If you need any assistance with how to write a good update or anything like that, please reach out to Mario or myself. We're happy to go through what we'd be looking for in an update or point you towards some particular updates that we think are quite good from previous cohorts or generally throughout the ecosystem. Yeah, so please don't hesitate to reach out for that kind of assistance. Yeah, anything else on your end, Mario, that you'd like to chat about before you get going?
Yeah, so the proposals I think are going to change a bit as we start working on the code base, because we'll find some new things that we might have not considered, like some edge cases that I recently found because my mentor highlighted this happened in Techo or something of that sort. So what to do about that? Because once the PR is accepted in the in the repository, like we are going to make update PR on the proposal or something of that sort, or we can just keep on updating our hackmd file that we have. Yeah, so that does make sense. Maybe I should create a high level proposal because I was assuming that people are technical in the fellows, so I can go into as much detail as I can possibly want. And mostly it was written for the mentors to figure out like where I'm stuck and where am I going, right? But I can create a high level proposal and just attach the hackmd file that I have. Maybe if you want that.
Jimmy too कैसे जाएगा मारो भाई Jimmy too कह रहा
Hi everyone. Yeah, so I recently learned about this program just on Saturday. So I'm going through the contents. I come from a data engineering background, so I wanted to understand if there is going to be some flexibility in terms of the proposal dates, like for me to understand what's going on and come to decision on what I want to work and build a proposal. Um,
Yeah, so we are a month into the fellowship now, which means like 20% down, basically. I think it's not too late to get started if you want to work on some smaller scope project. You can still follow the program. Please make sure to read all the guidelines, read the details about the program, how it works, and if because you are not stipended, like it's there is no hard deadline to submit the project proposal. You can do it a bit later, take your time to do your research, but I would suggest focusing on some smaller project that doesn't need as much research and as much time to develop it, so you can get started sooner, finish it sooner. Yeah. So some reasonable
okay,
sized scope. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Vukasin?
Thank you, Mario.
Hello, just to be clear, we write proposal in hackmd file, same as a weekly updater.
No, the projects are part of the repo. The repository, again, if you read the guidelines, if you check the projects directory, there is a template, there is all the information on how the project proposal should look like. So you want to open a PR with the actual project in the markdown in the repository, so I can actually review it, give you a regular like a code review, right? Proposal review. And if you have any extra resources, if you have like details of the specs, whatever resources that you are working with, you want to link these external HackMDs all in the project proposal. So like the proposal is like one place to have all the resources, all the knowledge in one place, basically.
Okay,
And
okay,
yeah, it
thank you.
lives on GitHub. Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions about this process? Great. One final thing that we haven't mentioned, Wednesday will be another office hours where we'll be doing presentations from those of you who have yet to present. This will likely be our last office hours where we'll do project presentations. So specifically for those of you who are stipended, you'll need to make sure that you get your name on the list for presenting your proposal. You can do so in the issue in GitHub. Just add your name to the list. Again, it is a requirement of your stipend, so please go ahead and get your names on there, and we'll go through and do as many of the proposals as we can on Wednesday. If there are a few outstanding, maybe we'll push some to the following week, but I think this will likely be the last office hours for project proposals. Cool. Any other last questions, comments around things that have happened over the past week or things that are upcoming this week or any of those things? Great. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, please feel free to reach out on Discord if you have other comments or questions over the next couple of days. Otherwise, we'll see you all on Wednesday for another round of project proposal presentations. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.